Hi, and welcome to Untethered with Jenless, the podcast that's here to help you free yourself from the crap that's holding you back so you can claim the life you're meant to live. I'm your host, Jen, and in this episode, we're going to talk about how changing your relationship with hope will help you conquer doubt. Let's dive in. Hi, friends, it's Jen. It has been a wild and woolly couple of weeks. So one of the things that I've had the pleasure of doing this year is to help a coach, a person who has greatly impacted my life, with ushering people who desire to better their lives into her coaching offering, a coaching offering that legitimately transformed my own life. And I'm very passionate about it. I love ushering people into it because I know how powerful it can be and what an amazing human she is. And it's wild. It's a wild experience and it's really fun. But the coolest thing about it for me is getting to connect with amazing individuals one-on-one, getting to have conversations about people's hopes, people's dreams. I mean, this is what I do in my coaching as well, but this is on a massive scale. I mean, I've had conversations with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, probably thousands, probably since January, since I started supporting her with this. And, you know, a few things came up for me this week, and I'm going to be doing quite a few podcast episodes on some of these things because, you know, it's funny because each of our situations is completely unique. Your life is completely unique. You have a unique set of skills, of experiences, of talents, of like your magic inside of you. Like everything that you have is so unique. And yet we all have the same tethers. We have so many of the same tethers. And maybe one tether for you is stronger than the tether that somebody else might have. But there's like 5 or 6 of them that we all seem to have. And that's really what in this exploration of this podcast and how it has evolved. You know, it used to be called something else, and I changed it into what it is today. And we talked about this on Tuesday's episode with Pascal. And we talked about how, you know, our journey is always evolving and it's okay to change along the way. And so that's something I would like to thread out of Pascal's episode and into this Thursday thread, is that it's okay to change. It's okay to change. It's okay to move along your journey and to do something different. But when you do decide to change, a lot of crap comes up. You face so many tethers. All of your tethers are suddenly so apparent because when we go to make a change, when we go to step into something new, when we're ready to welcome something different, and we're like, I really want to say this big hell yes to myself. Oh boy. All of a sudden, every fear that you have comes to the table and they just like rope you. And they are screaming so loud for you to stay the same because it knows that your body knows, your mind knows that you're about to step into something new and everything is going to change. And that is really scary. It's so scary. So all of these tethers come up when you go to do that. And so doubt obviously is going to creep in. Of course, you're going to have doubt when you go to have a change. And so then you start worrying about, what are other people going to think when I make this change? I mean, just the simple thing that she and I had of changing the name of our podcast. And this is so funny that this came up too, because my own coach, I kid you not, she changed the name of her podcast this week, changed the name of her podcast. And guess what happened? It shot up to number 4 in the charts because it was an aligned decision. It was amazing for her. And the same was true for me when I changed to Untethered. I got a whole bunch more listeners because it was an aligned action. That's what happens when we take that action. But we can get so caught up. So many people aren't taking aligned actions. We don't do the thing because doubt creeps in. Doubt creeps in and it starts to say, oh, what are other people going to think? what if this doesn't work out? What if I should just keep it the same? Maybe this isn't a good idea. You start to think of all of the things, all of the reasons start to come up of why you shouldn't do it. But think about this. All of those reasons that are coming up for why you should not do something, it's only coming up so that it can keep you in place. It's the only reason. That's the only reason. But what you know in your heart is that you want to do it, right? You want to do it. You want to take the action, because otherwise you wouldn't be feeling like doing it anyway. You're feeling like something's not aligned, something's not right. And so you want to change, but then you're scared of the change, right? This is something that we face all the time. It doesn't matter what decision you're making in your life that you can face this kind of thing. So you have doubt. You have doubt that creeps in. And I mean, you got to believe every famous person, every person who has been successful, every person who have done, Oprah, you think she didn't ever have any doubt? Of course she had doubt. Of course she had doubt. Everybody's had doubt. You think when anybody put their name in for president, Barack Obama didn't have doubt? You think Steve Jobs didn't have doubt? Everybody has doubt, because doubt is a mechanism to make us ensure that we're making a sound decision. It's there to help us. So it's going to come up, like it's going to be there, and it can feel crippling. It can feel crippling. Believe me, I've had these conversations with people. Like, things manifest in your body when you go to make a huge hell yes decision for yourself. You can have headaches. You can have stomach aches. You could be throwing up in the bathroom. Like, things happen in our bodies when we go to make a decision for ourselves. And the longer we stay in that liminal space, like, the worse we feel, because it's like we're just on this, like, going back and forth. We're at the center of the tug of war, and we're not making a decision in one direction or the other. And really what we need to do is just make a damn decision. And when we do, we feel so much better. And when we make the most aligned decision, we feel amazing, right? So we have doubt. Every single one of us, every single human, so much doubt can come up when we go to make a decision. And it's normal. And the longer we sit in that space, the more uncomfortable we get. And so often, here is what I see happens with people, is that they will try to lean on hope. Oh, I hope that if I make this decision, it is going to transform my life. Oh, I hope that if I make this decision, I'm going to have a happier family life. Oh, if I make this decision, then it's going to work out for me. I hope I'm going to manifest money. I hope that I'm going to get all of these things. Start to lean on hope. And hope is not enough. If you're like looking at the teeter-totter of life, like doubt, those tethers, doubt is a big ass tether, and it is pulling so hard. It is pulling you back so dang hard. Hope is like holding one balloon. It is not enough to pull you all the way over to the other side. It's just not. Hope is not enough. Like, hope is a wonderful thing. Hope, like, we can hope about all kinds of things. We can hope that, the world is going to get better. Like, you can hope, but what really moves the needle, what is actually going to pull that tug of war over to the other side, to where you really want it to be, to that magical thing that you want to bring into your life, into that new career, into actually writing the book, speaking to myself, even into doing the thing that you really want to do, is not hope. It's not hope. Hope does not conquer doubt. Do you know what does conquer doubt? Belief. Belief. Full force belief that something is possible. Full force belief that you can do it, that you have the power to do it, that you can step into it, that you can accomplish it. Belief, not hope. Not hope. You need like 50,000 balloons of hope to get you up into the sky, and you need one big ass hot air balloon of belief. Belief is the way. We have to believe. And even if you feel like it's impossible to believe, you would be amazed at how fast you can get into belief. You can feel it in your body. You can feel belief before it happens. You can believe that something is possible. You can feel it in your body before it has happened. You can believe right now in this moment. What is something that you want to do? What is something that you want in your life? Name one thing. What is it? What is it? What is that big, juicy, amazing thing that you want? I feel like I'm yelling a lot in this episode. I'm like fist pumping. What do you want? What do you want? What is one big, dreamy, amazing thing that you want in your life? Maybe you want a giraffe. I don't know. What do you want? Maybe you want to be able to go into a store and just buy whatever you want off the shelf. Maybe you want to go to a restaurant and just feel like you can order anything off of the menu at all. Maybe you want an amazing house on a mountainside. Maybe you want a pool in your backyard. Maybe you want an amazing relationship with your husband. Maybe you want to rekindle a relationship with one of your parents. Maybe you want amazing friendships. What is the thing that you want? Maybe you want a pair of new roller skates, whatever it is. Think of that thing that you really want. And now close your eyes and imagine what it will feel like to have that thing. What will it feel like when you are there, when you're holding it? Maybe it's those roller skates. What is it going to feel like when you put your feet into them? When you put those feet in and you're tying them up, and then when you stand up and you're all wobbly, what is that going to feel like when you do that first push on that roller skate and you start to just roll? What's that feeling? Is it free? Is it fun? Is it happy? Is it amazing? Is it just so full of joy? Is it bubbly? What does it feel like to have that thing that you want? And it is in that feeling, when you can get that feeling in your gut, in your body, in your fingertips, in your toes, the wind in your hair, when you can imagine it to the point of feeling it. And there was somebody on the podcast, Jen Lemke, who talked about this. When we do visioning, we have to feel it. And when you feel it, suddenly you believe it. You believe it's possible because you've felt it before. You know the feeling. You know the feeling when you're going to have it. And when you can have that level of oomph in your body, in your mind, and your heart, when you know it's like, oh, I can feel it, then you can believe it. Then hope, freaking just let's stop with the hope. Hoping does not, the shift that can happen in a human being when we switch from hope to belief is the most powerful thing I've ever witnessed. The most powerful thing I've ever witnessed when you go from hope to belief. It moves mountains. Actual, it just severs the tethers. It is like you have a machete and you're like, F this. I am done with you. I am believing. I'm not hoping. I'm believing that this is possible for me. But the pathway to that is really to allow yourself to feel it and to stop feeling the tethers, to stop feeling the doubt, because we don't have to feel as much doubt as we do. We allow ourselves to because it's comfortable, because it's known. We are so used to feeling those things. We're so used to feeling limitation. I talked about this in last Thursday's episode too. We're so used to feeling limitation and scarcity. That's the world we live in. That's the news. That's everybody is living in limitation and scarcity. We've been brought up with it. We know how to feel that. It's palpable. You don't know how to feel your future. You haven't learned how to feel your future, but you can. You can. You can feel those things. It's just as real. Science has proven this. When you vision something, it releases all of the same things as if it had just happened. And when something actually does happen to you, you can relive all of those experiences. There have been scientific studies of the brain that when people re-experience a trauma, when they rethink a trauma, not even actual physical experience, when they rethink the trauma, when they reimagine a trauma that they experienced, the exact same things light up in the brain as the original thing. The same is possible for the future. It's just we're so used to the past. The past is easier. It's more accessible. We know that. You can know the future too if you think it enough. And then it starts to magnetize those things into your life. And then you see those opportunities because your brain is looking for them. You're looking for them. You're open to them. They're coming to you. When they come along, you don't ignore them. We're ignoring the amazing, beautiful things that come into our life because we're simply not seeing it because we're looking at scarcity. We're looking at all the reasons we can't have it while pining for it and hoping for it and wishing for it. But you can go the other way. I just want you to know that. I want you to feel that. Even if this is hard, keep trying. Find a feeling that is accessible. Find a good feeling. Find a piece of joy. Find something in your life that I can feel that yummy feeling and start working with it. Start imagining that same feeling that you're feeling now. What would it be like if you were able to get that in the future from something else? And start to move it outward that way. And the more you start thinking that way, the more the goodness comes. I swear to God. This is so true. And I'm doing it too. I mean, I'm doing it right along with you. I'm sharing this because I'm living it and because I'm seeing it. And I see what hope does to people. Hope is it's nice. It's nice. It's great. It's so good to hope. I said, throw it away earlier. You don't have to totally throw it away. It's good. It's fine, but not for the things that you really want. We've got to believe. We have to shift into belief because hope, it feels powerless. When we're hoping, we're powerless. And there's so much more power in belief. If you're looking at that teeter-totter, it's just, you need the extra power. You need the extra oomph. Otherwise, you're not going to swing it to the other side. So when it comes to conquering doubt, belief is the way. Belief is your strategy. And, I always love to say joy is your strategy. Well, nothing feels more joyful than believing in that thing that you really want to welcome into your life. That feels so joyful because it's the pathway to all of the things that you really desire to feel. If you believe in it, then you know that it's coming. How many times did I say believe in this episode? I'm starting to feel like I'm getting repetitive, but it's so important that we understand how powerful this can be. So we really need to change our relationship with hope. And we get to change our relationship with belief. And at the core of it is believing in ourselves, believing in yourself, believing in your power. Believing in what's possible for you. Believing what you can step into. Because just going back to Oprah, do you think she hoped that she could have a show? You think she sat around and just said, oh, I hope that I can. She never even dreamed, she didn't dream the show. What she did do was to believe in herself and her own talents and her own possibility. And she kept showing up and she knew what felt good to her. And so when those things came along, she's ready for it and she's here for it. And she's like, let's go. I'm ready. Okay, let's go. That's my word of the year is ready. And I'm just seeing the power of that, of knowing that it's so possible for you. It's just such a shift. It's such a shift. And it can be so hard for us to wrap our brains around it because, again, it's the future. But you've got to stop living in the past. We can't just keep reliving the past. When you're just reliving all those past feelings and all those past emotions, there's no forward movement. You're just cycling. You're going back and forth between doubt and wanting to believe. That's hope. Hope is wanting to believe. And you're just cycling and cycling and cycling and not getting anywhere. And you're so uncomfortable. You're in the middle of that tug of war. It doesn't feel good. What you want is to step in. And that requires belief. Thank you so much for listening. It really means the world to me that you'd listen to this podcast. And I hope that it helped you to believe in yourself, to believe in what's possible, and to really dream up what things you really want to invite into your life. If you gained something out of this episode, I encourage you to share it with a friend, leave a review of this podcast. It really helps it get to more listening ears. You just keep shining your magical unicorn light out there for all to see. I'll see you next time.